Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, the Legit Boss, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that. You hear that, Larson? You hear that?
In lieu of saying anything right now, I'll just hold up this Picard facepalm bust, because that's how I feel about the whole situation.
Wow.
Unless you want to have a Dr. Wagner situation here, please refrain.
Last night was one of those moments, Larson, when I wish that we weren't so knee-deep, neck-deep, in and over our heads in the dirt sheet stuff. I wish I didn't know Goldberg was coming back, but Goldberg's back officially. He showed up last night at the very end of Raw. Oh, boy. Yeah. SummerSlam against Dolph Ziggler. Let me ask you something.
What?
So I know everybody knows your feelings on it. You don't care. Total apathy towards the Goldberg coming back. Totally get it. I understand. I
just don't want to see it. I don't care to see it.
I'm not with you, but I get it. Totally understand. He's old. Who wants to see that stuff? We're in the midst of a classic yet another classic G1 where the creme de la creme of wrestling is going down, and that's really what all wrestling should be.
Yeah.
It should be great. Not old men trying to do moves.
Trying to go in the ring and not hurt themselves or their opponent. Yes.
Let me ask this though. I know it's not going to happen. But if Dolph Ziggler doled out a super kick to counter the spear and got the 1, 2, 3, would you pop? I'd pop at that.
Yeah, that's the only scenario during the course of this match that I would be anyway excited.
Okay.
Because here's the thing.
Well, I'm glad something about it could excite you.
And that would just be...
What if he took a hammer out like Dr. Wagner?
That'd be great. Here's the thing. That'd be short-lived because I'd think to myself, all right, that's good that Dolph got that win, but why not give that rub to someone who could really do something with it?
You know, at this point, I'm starting to come around to the idea that Dolph might be around a while. And
he's going to be around a while.
He could totally do something with it. He could do something with it.
Maybe.
You could totally legitimize Dolph Ziggler right now if he super kicks Goldberg en route to a spear.
Well, we know that's not going to happen.
I know. It's going to be a 90-second match.
It's going to be a 90-second match. Spear, jackhammer.
Yeah.
It's going to be lame, man. Mm-hmm. It's going to be lame.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be quick.
That'll be my pee break match.
I just like that it'll be quick. You're going to have to take a very, very quick pee, though.
I'm just going to go in the garbage can by the refrigerator.
That makes sense. And I like that we have no backdrop now, so everybody will be able to see it.
Well, I'll have my back to the camera.
Well, yeah. They won't see your bee skin.
No, thank you.
Do we have any ads today?
Nope.
No?
None.
Really? Oh,
None.
We say ball skin.
End of the week.
Okay, cool. Right on.
But I don't know. I'm just tired of seeing all them bringing all the old timers to try to pop ratings short term and like.
Well, I think
it's another situation where they're giving this plum spotlight to a part timer, an old timer.
Yeah.
When they could be spending time and energy building up a new talent to get to the level. It's the same thing where they have all these part timers and people they bring in these nostalgia acts to try to get a ratings bump. And they do that at the expense of all the talent, full-time talent on hand now, that in 10 years when all the part-time and old-time talent can't go anymore, who are they going to turn to pop ratings if this is their philosophy?
I think we've said it before, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and it kind of glosses over the weaknesses of, I mean, dude, there's I think that 10 years from now, they're still going to be, number one, wrestlers take way better care of themselves these days. So 10 years from now, it's still going to be Seth Rollins, still going to be, I mean, Roman Reigns might be retired because he said he might, but I doubt it.
Well, here's the thing is, like, none of those guys
there's no more Goldbergs, man.
There's not any more, they're not developing the talent to reach the levels of Goldberg or The Undertaker or Brock Lesnar.
You know, that's one thing that I noted that I sort of,
or John Cena.
We didn't really talk about this yesterday when we were talking about the 2K20 stuff. Some people were kind of upset about Becky not having the cover all to herself. And she was sharing it with Roman, and I understand that. I would love to have seen Becky just have the cover to herself. But the bottom line is they're going to put on the cover who they think can make that video game the most money.
Yep.
And what you're talking about right now is illustrated. You can see evidence of that on the cover. There are no singular superstars
that transcend
anymore.
The sport anymore.
They have stars. And if you look at the last couple of years, like last year it was AJ Styles, for example. AJ Styles hasn't main evented a show since like 2017.
Mm-hmm. A pay-per-view, you mean, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
A pay-per-view, yeah. And I'm a huge AJ Styles fan.
Yeah.
I love him a lot. Seth Rollins right now, they have managed to basically Roman Reigns Seth Rollins to a degree. He was getting wutted during his
heartfelt promo. Actually, I kind of wish that was the angle they took with this whole storyline to begin with. They finally have direction, and it's a week before SummerSlam.
Yeah, about his little speech last night.
Yeah, about him just kind of being a shell of what he was.
Yeah,
like if they had done this, whatever. We'll talk about that when we get to that segment. But it felt like if it had built to that over the course of several weeks instead of 2 weeks, people might have been more receptive to it.
Going back to the Goldberg thing though, because that's the thumbnail and that's what we're going to talk about for a second here, and then we'll get into the plugs and stuff. But yeah, regardless of how your point is sound in that it is disheartening that they have to keep on going back and squeezing every ounce that they can get out of the old timers. Goldberg was a much bigger name during his short stint in wrestling the first time around than anybody is now, and that can't be denied. I mean, Goldberg was everything back in the day.
Yeah.
And Matt Riddle is right. He's a terrible, and has always been a terrible wrestler.
Yeah, he's not a good wrestler.
In the ring. Now, you can debate, I was a fan of his Brock Lesnar feud. I thought that they stuck.
Yeah, that was all right.
They stuck to his strengths, and that Survivor Series moment I thought was huge, and we all popped big on that one. You, me, and Hilton. There's gifs of it out there, and I thought it was well executed. They played very well to his strengths. Putting him in there with Dolph, if they're gonna do Goldberg, is a good idea because Dolph is number one light, so he'll probably be easy to get up for a jackhammer.
Yeah.
Dolph is a hell of a seller, so he'll be able to sell that spear really well.
Yeah.
And Dolph is really good in the ring.
It just doesn't do anything for anybody. I mean, it gives Goldberg an opportunity to redeem himself from that terrible match at Super Showdown.
Yeah.
But as far as me as a wrestling fan, that does nothing. I don't really care about that, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Goldberg. He gets the opportunity, but me as a wrestling observer, if you will, it's not going to advance any storylines.
Yeah.
Doesn't really do much.
I think I don't know. I kind of disagree with that, but I see where you're coming from. So yeah. Anyways,
what does it do for Dolph to be in the ring with Goldberg for 90 seconds to eat a spear and a jackhammer? Doesn't do anything.
It gets everybody a lot more. Well, I mean, theoretically, it gets more eyes on the product.
Yeah.
Goldberg being back. I mean, you can't deny that it does. Goldberg's a big name. It does bring more eyes to the product. So that does do stuff for the wrestlers.
I guess,
it does stuff for the product.
It does stuff for the wrestlers and product only if WWE is able to capitalize on it creatively, which we've seen that they're not.
That's not true. That's not true. Goldberg just being there does more for the event, brings more people.
Yeah, I know, but it's a one-time thing. But unless you can capitalize, if you say, if people are tuning in because Goldberg's on the card and they watch the card and they're like, this isn't very great. Well, I'm not going to continue to watch this because I'm not engaged in it. Then going forward, it's not really a long-term net positive.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I think anytime, even for one singular events, can do a lot for the future because they have. I mean, WWE has a lot going for them.
It can, but I'm just saying, unless they put a product out there that's going to engage people who haven't tuned in for a while, then it doesn't really matter.
Speaking of which, we had a community poll go up. Let's see how people were engaged with Raw last night. Let's see what the people said. What do you think the rating is going to be like this week? 3.5? You think you get 3.5?
It's probably going to be no. Probably around what it was last week.
What did they get last week?
2.3.
Oh, what did I say? 3.5? Oh yeah, I meant 2.5. That's where we're at these days.
I don't think so.
2.3? Oh, I think it'll do 2.5. Goldberg's back. So it'll do 2.5. And plus, they had the buzz of there were some buzzy things going on. But yeah, it'll definitely get 2.5. There were super buzzy things going on. They had the Roman Reigns car thing that got people buzzing.
Yeah.
And then the Goldberg thing.
Everybody thought Toonses was in WWE now.
Boy, that made me laugh. And then
good job, Liam Wagner.
Good job, Liam Wagner, on that one. And then the women's championship match.
The tag title match?
I'm sorry, the women's tag title match, yeah. Yays were 37%, nays were only 6%. In-betweens were 21%. Don't plan to watch, only 27%, so that's even going down.
Hold on a second. Elliot Smith says, good God, who peed in Larson's cereal? Dude is so negative. I'm just tired of them going back to the same old well of bringing in the old-timers to try to accomplish something rather than invest time and money and energy in building up new stars. It's just the same old thing, and I'm kind of it gets to a point where I just get tired of it.
Yeah,
that's it. Just voicing my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably do 2.5. What do you think it'll do? 2.3?
Yeah, about the same.
2.3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of Dylan Haggis says Meltzer ruined Goldberg's surprise return. Apparently, according to him, WWE ruined Goldberg's surprise return because they're the ones who reached out to him after somebody hits. I don't know. It was a weird story. Internet wrestling is so weird.
Oh, yeah. There's somebody misreported something Meltzer said, and then the WWE went to Meltzer and said, how do you know it was Goldberg? And he said, I didn't know it was Goldberg, but they just told them it was Goldberg.
Yeah. Wrestling is so weird. What'd you think of the rest of the show?
It was all right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wish they had done the angle with Seth where he's like decimated and destroyed, not just physically, but essentially spiritually.
Yeah.
I thought that'd have been, if you really want to get.
I like when he started using the word love.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that I love besides my Becky.
If you
but she doesn't love me.
If you really want to get genuine sympathy for him as a face, like if they had developed the story with Brock, done a better job of it. Brock made the bank, and his sole goal is to destroy Seth to avenge his loss at WrestleMania, and then make Seth's life a living hell thereafter. I'd be all about that. But then Seth has to react accordingly, not be jokey, not be kind of flippant, not trying to act super cool.
Yeah, they need some consistency with that. I agree.
Like if like Brock would go out there and deliver Seth week by week escalating beatdowns. And so we got, in the end, on the go-home show, the Seth that we got last night, who's basically a completely broken man, who is willing to do anything and everything to get the one thing, as he says, that he loves, that title.
Yeah.
Then maybe if that story had been better told, you wouldn't have had the crowd whatting him.
Yeah.
You'd have the crowd actually engage in what he was saying.
To kind of counter that a little bit, that crowd was terrible. Pittsburgh, and it's funny because I was looking up on Twitter because a couple of people, I put out my own little poll on the Going in Raw Twitter. I said, fill in the blank, because I was having a hard time. I was like, this is just a crap crowd, isn't it? And I put out, I said, tonight's crowd for Raw is blank. And then everybody was saying it was trash. And then a couple people actually illustrated that, well, it's a Pittsburgh crowd. And they have had really bad crowds in the past. Not Lafayette bad, but they have had some really bad crowds in the past. A couple of people are dinging up tweets from the past, from other people saying, man, this Pittsburgh crowd is terrible. They popped for Goldberg, but pretty much everything else was dead on arrival.
They were into the opening segment with Joe. People were into that until he insulted them.
It was a really good segment. I thought Raw was pretty good last night. I thought my only beef, because it was a go home to SummerSlam, obviously that's this Sunday. We'll be doing our live reactions there. And I think Cal has been confirmed to be there. Right? Yeah, he's showing up. Okay, cool. And then probably Hilton for a little bit. So we might have a 4-man team. My one thing was the tag title match and Cedric versus Drew, and then Mysterio versus Andrade. Those are 3 matches that I thought we were going to get at SummerSlam.
Yeah, there's already 14 matches on the card, though, I think. Like the women's tag team match, that should have been at SummerSlam.
That should have been SummerSlam. I still think because of the wonky finish, we're probably going to get Mysterio. I was looking for like an interview with Ray on the .com this morning on WWE's YouTube. I was looking for it last night. It might have showed up this morning if they were going to do one where, because it was a wonky finish with some distraction.
Well, I guess there's only 9 announced matches so far.
Like that's got to be a Twitter announcement. Andrade versus Ray.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess my point was, I felt like 3 of those matches, and they were spread out over the entire show. Just felt like they were going to be SummerSlam matches, and they had wonk finishes, like obviously the Kurt Angle Fiend attack.
Yeah.
So Drew versus Cedric's probably still going to happen at SummerSlam.
That's probably going to be on the kickoff show.
I just thought it was weird that 3 of the matches felt like, wait, aren't they just going to do this at SummerSlam? And I think 2 of them they still are. I don't know about the women's tag title match.
I have a hard time believing the women's tag match, unfortunately, is going to have a spot on the SummerSlam card at this point. So let's say the title change on Raw.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to be surprised and like to be proven wrong, but I have a hard time believing.
Unless they're going to do like a rematch, or they're going to have somebody
just
else.
like a team versus team rematch versus a 4 corners match.
Yeah,
something like that.
But no, I thought it was really good. I mean, I'm never going to complain about getting Mysterio versus Andrade, and then Nikki Cross is finally a champion of some sort in WWE. So I thought it was pretty cool. I do think that WWE is still sort of, Heyman still has some. They're creatively in a hole.
Yeah,
and they are digging their way out of it.
Yeah,
so it still doesn't really feel like must-watch TV.
No,
but it was pretty entertaining for what it was. And tonight's SmackDown should be pretty good with the Roman stuff. In any event, want to give a shout out to our new patrons out there.
Yes.
Cool. Also, Stitcher has fixed the issue on their end.
Cool.
So apparently Stitcher has been fixed. I'll tweet that out later on today, because apparently it had been like a week. And then I think somebody said something about Google Play too. So who knows? I don't know what's going on with all that.
I don't know what's going on either.
Let's see here. No new patrons. That's okay though. It's all right. It's not like an everyday thing. We had a bunch over the weekend.
We did. That's true. It's true.
So on the Patreon, you get access to bonus content. You get access to our Discord. You get access to our digital care package, chock full of awesome gifts.
Yeah. Who doesn't love gifts?
I love gifts, man. They're great.
Gifts are great.
Anyways, let's go ahead. Do we have anything else? Any channel members?
No, I don't believe so. I'm just in here trying to copy and paste in the SmackDown preview. Let's do some super chats before we get to the rundown. Dylan, where do you guys see NXT going after Toronto? Any call-ups? I honestly don't think so because there's already too many people on the main roster and not enough slots for everybody.
NXT seems to be getting to a point where the call-ups might be fewer and far between because I think there's they've sort of settled on that roster.
Kind of be the foundation for a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that. And then if there's going to be people going up straight to main, it's probably going to be more along the lines of Jordan Miles going to 205, stuff like that.
Or if they do a situation where they bring 205 over to NXT.
Yeah, that could be too.
That could be. Fiend Kicks, Mankind Claw was gross.
I thought that was cool.
Fiend Claw was terrifying, yeah.
That he kept that from the Foley thing.
I know.
I love that. I thought that was really cool.
I like that he has a move now that he can do to old-timers that they don't want taking bumps. Dylan again, Meltzer ruined, Goldberg surprise, return. Thanks.
Yeah, but again, that's just nature
of the business.
Nature of the business.
Nature of the business.
Anyways, so they did a 10 bell salute to the victims of the El Paso and Dayton tragedies. And then we had, I think just because you have to tell 10 bell salute, you have to go to something else. Instead of going to a recap package, they went to
a new intro, maybe?
Was this new?
I mean, it was new.
Okay, I hadn't seen.
I guess the question is it sticking around?
What was the song?
I've never heard that before.
So at one point, didn't Papa Roach do a song for Raw?
Years ago, maybe.
No. I mean, over the last song they had
was not Papa Roach, was it?
I thought Papa Roach did a thing, and then they never used it.
Oh, maybe.
I could be completely. Chat might have a better answer.
Yeah. But I think you're right. They just needed something to
break up the thing
to put there after the 10 bell salute, and also to have something for Joe to interrupt.
Yeah.
Because that worked.
I wonder if they whipped it up on yesterday.
It's what songs have we licensed already, just to kind of have in our back pocket.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, can we have CFO $ whip up a quick Papa Roach wannabe song?
Maybe. So, anyways, we had the intro package. We'll see if that sticks around.
Okay, Ernie Acosta. It was Papa Roach, Born for Greatness.
Okay.
I don't know if that was one last night or if that's one that was earlier this year or whatever.
Is interrupted by Joe. He's on the announce table. He feels like his good name has been besmirched because at first he blames commentary being implicated in the attack on Roman Reigns. And he says, it wasn't me. I demand apology. They throw to footage from SmackDown of Roman getting attacked. And then Joe says, you got more cameras there than a dystopian state.
That's pretty good.
And there's not a single frame of me.
I know.
That was great.
I know.
That was such a good line.
It was great. I mean, we also got a bit of a face turn for Joe last night.
Kind of.
And the thing that I loved about it is that, and I don't think it's going to be all of a sudden he's going to be good guy Joe, although according to the rumors tonight, we're going to find out what he's going to be doing for SummerSlam, and it's not going to be something that a heel would do. But if this is a bit like of a tweener turn for Joe, I love that it was sort of storyline motivated.
Yeah.
It's
like Joe's later on, he said, yeah, I bend the rules, but I'll terrorize my opponent's families to get a mental advantage. But he didn't say that, but just going back into his storylines. But attempted murder, not my thing. That's that's the line that I'm not going to cross, essentially.
Yeah.
So he's a heel with limits.
he's like a real character. He's like a real 3D, character.
Yeah, he's one of the few
he's
in
one of
WWE.
the few, exactly. A guy who's like, he sees somebody almost get hit by a car. He's like, oh man, I hate this guy, and like I want to fight him, but
Same time, this is
he
like
just got hit by a car.
Still, this is the brotherhood. We're all wrestlers here.
Right, exactly. But anyways, getting back. Oh, that's later. Getting back to that. Joe's on the
so he
announce
comes back,
table.
and then Joe says, "I'm going to shut down Raw until he gets an apology from Roman for being accused of of attacking him." And Michael Cole's like, "Well, there's a poll where it says 80% of the WWE universe thinks it wasn't an accident." And Joe says, "Yeah, I just did my own poll, and 80% of the universe are idiots."
Yeah, rightfully so.
So Joe's the best.
Oh man. So yeah.
So he's standing there on the announce table still and says, "I'm shutting down Raw." Cue Becky's music. Raw is not being shut down because the man is there.
Yeah, the man's there.
We had a tag match. Becky and Charlotte teaming up for the first time in forever, even though they're not friendly at all. Taking on Natalya and Trish Stratus. It's interesting. They're doing face-heel teams pretty much.
Yeah.
Decent enough match. It was mostly Charlotte and Natalya in there because Becky was in for a little bit against Natalya. Charlotte tagged herself in. Trish Stratus never got in the ring. Towards the finish, Becky tags herself in. Charlotte's not happy about it. Once Becky turns her attention to Natalya, Charlotte pushes her, leaves. Becky's distracted.
Yeah.
Natalya puts her in the sharpshooter. Becky gets to the ropes. Natalya refuses to release the hold. Ref counts to 5. DQ. And Natalya pulls Becky back to the middle of the ring. Still won't break the hold. Trish gets in the ring. It's like, "Hey, stop, Natalya." Natalya pushes her. And then the closes with Trish trying to help Becky up.
I do appreciate. I like when they do these heel face tag teams. It's like Battle Bowl.
Battle Bowl, yeah.
and because it always ends like this. It always ends like they're never on the same page.
No.
And that's just a joy to watch. I like when people are not on the same page. I think that's why people watch this podcast here. So, I'm joking. Anyways, after that we had Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. Of course, last week Andrade, was it last week or a week before that? Andrade tried to take the Mascaras during the Gauntlet match.
He did rip it off.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He did. And he was very happy to do so. He even Instagrammed out that picture and said, "This is what I used to do every month back in Mexico as La Sombra." And so he was really happy to do that. So they had a fight, and it was just amazing. It's just great.
These guys.
You know what's funny
put
too?
Forth great matches.
I think mainly is because it was obviously two luchadors in there doing their thing. A lot of lucha things going on, right? And it got me thinking about AAA. And the comment you made during AAA is, none of these guys sell. They just take a move, execute a move, wait to do the next move. And it's it's so funny because there's such a stark difference. Like both these guys obviously know how to sell. They know story beats.
Yeah.
And when they get hit, they go down to the ground and they act like it hurts.
Yeah.
In AAA, one of the joys of it
Oh, absolutely.
is that they just do move.
Move after move
Okay,
after move.
set up for the next crazy spot. And the only time anybody ever is on the ground for any period of time is when they're legitimately hurt.
Pretty much. Otherwise, they roll out of the ring and stand there until their next cue.
Exactly.
The exception being the main event of Triple Mania.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think those guys are really hurt, though.
Oh, entirely possible. I mean, as far as I know, Blue Demon Jr. really did hit Dr. Wagner Jr.'s hand with a hammer.
He was so intent on he would use that as soon as it appeared.
Gets in the ring and just smacks him in the back with it.
Oh man,
It was amazing.
Oh man, that sunset flip to the barricade.
Oh man, when he
To the
slides
outside,
out. Yeah, that's great.
That was beautiful.
He's done it before, but it never get told.
Yeah, Ray hit that on Andrade. He hit a 619. Goes for a frog splash. Almost got his knees up though. Goes for a pin. Gets a 2. Almost hits a power bomb. He had a couple power bombs that looked stanky.
Oh yeah,
in
the
this
one
match.
in the corner before the double knees was nasty.
That was nasty. Hits another one. Tries once again to go for the mask. Ref breaks all that up. Zelina Vega gets up. Cheap shots Ray. She what do you call that when you do the?
I don't remember. She grabs his head and jams
type thing against the ropes.
His throat against the rope.
Yeah. And then Andrade grabs him, hammerlock DDT, gets the win. But we got everything in this match. We got the
Destroyer,
the reverse Rana. We got all that stuff. Everything that Corey Graves calls a pile driver.
Yeah, I know.
After that, we had Mike and Maria's 24/7 title recap, followed, of course, by Maria's appointment at the OBGYN.
Yep.
That was happening. And they're there in the waiting room. And they're terrific.
I like the waiting room was obviously someplace just in the arena.
Yeah.
Because they had the one wall with the 2 TVs in it, which could look like a doctor's office because they had like the name of the doctor and stuff. And then the other wall was just like a lavender curtain.
Yeah. Yeah. That was great. It looked pretty legit, though. Wasn't inside the doctor's office that looked legit, though, didn't it?
Oh, maybe.
I think maybe it was just a doctor training room. Or
the medical. I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, it could be. In any event, Maria's given Mike all sorts of crap. She said, you have one job, Mike. One job. Make sure I keep this title because people are going to be coming after me. They know that it's the OBGYN appointment.
Yeah.
Because it was advertised on Twitter.
And so they're back there, and he's massaging her, and she's like, stop, you're annoying me. And he's like, no, you need to relax. So just relax, for the benefit of the baby. And so he hugs her and kind of lays her shoulders on the back of the bed, and you have the doctor turn around and slap
2, 3.
Mike's back 3 times. It's named Jessica Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah. The referee. Winner. Mike is new champion.
Mike is new champion.
So he walks out to the waiting room, like, I'm champion again. And there's R-Truth and Carmella.
Dressed up as a pregnant lady and, I guess, her beau.
Yeah. And then R-Truth gets up and says, oh, my water broke. Out falls a doll. He tosses it to Mike, rolls him up, pin. He says, you have your baby, and now I have mine back.
And Mike is left with a fake baby, the perfect metaphor.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved every freaking bit
funny.
of this, man.
It was pretty good.
I love it. What was Mike Kanellis thinking, man? He has to go home to her.
I know.
He's got to deal with that now.
I know.
I kind of love that they just play him up as hapless on Raw. I mean, at some point I want to see Mike, because I'm a big fan.
No, he's great.
I want to see him as like series champion guy, but right now hapless Kanellis, I love it. I love it. I wish they kept him on 205 to be exactly what you were talking about, and then they finally alluded to that this week. That's where he takes out his aggressions on 205.
I think it's still entirely possible. Just because he lost to Drake Maverick, I don't think it's a certainty that he's gone from 205.
I don't know, man. If I'm Mike Bennett and I just lost to Drake Maverick, I'm not sure I'd want to show my face on 205. But I hope they keep him around. I think he's really, really good.
No, he is really good.
The more, the better with him.
Especially now after that loss, if he just goes there and just starts attacking everybody.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get his aggressions out, that'd be something else. I think that'd be cool. Next, we had a Becky interview that was really good, just talking trash about Natalya. It was long. Did you see that thing she put up on Twitter about? There's a picture she had of famous Canadians and how she's going to be the next Canadian hero. Like one of them, like picture Natalya, and it says Canada's disappointment. I think like Avril Lavigne was on it. Shoot, who else?
Well, who, Becky put that up on Twitter?
Yeah, she had a picture of Justin Bieber. Underneath it said Ellen.
That's funny.
And there's another. Shoot, I don't remember. It was pretty funny though.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see it.
All right.
Anyways, let's see here. Then, did you mention the Natalya interview?
No, yeah, I was just getting that. That was much shorter and not as good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember that, to be honest with you. And then after that, Brock, Lesnar, and Heyman come out. Heyman just talks crap about Seth.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to be the Beast Slayer, but look at ya.
He's mocking him.
You got smashed.
He's mocking
So he
him.
throws the beatdown video. They start teasing Seth a bit more. He comes limping down the ramp with the chair in hand. Gets in the ring slowly, painfully. Brock beats him up, gets the chair, starts beating him with the chair, drives him in the corner a couple times, give him a knee to the ribs, hits an F5.
I didn't notice that the crowd chant one more time.
They were kind of not. They didn't really make any noise.
Yeah, right.
Until the F5, and then they popped.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then after the commercial, Seth is still there with his DDP rib tape.
Yeah, because Brock ripped his Blackcraft shirt off him.
Yeah, he had rib tape underneath. That's POS. And then he asks for a mic, and he gets on there, and he talks about what we sort of talked about before, how the Universal Championship is like the one thing he loves, and it's part of him, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like, I asked myself if it's worth it to do this to myself for the thing I love most. Answer is yes. And he says this like, he sounds pretty broken throughout all the first bit of it, but then he just kind of matter-of-factly, very quietly says, I'll be at SummerSlam, and I'll beat Brock Lesnar. I guarantee it. but like no emphasis on anything, no real inflection.
Yeah.
Just very flat and monotone.
Yeah.
Which I liked. I thought performance-wise it was pretty good.
I thought they should have had him as soon as he lost that Universal Championship. He dons the Sting makeup, and he's just in the rafters for the entire build to SummerSlam. That'd probably be cheesy as hell, huh?
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea. Not a good idea at all.
No.
But if they did something like this with Seth, this whole time, just gradually being more and more broken.
Yeah, but him being dorky for like weeks on end really didn't do much. And then
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
In the meantime, he's like on Twitter, like talking to Will Ospreay about bank accounts. Yeah. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. So what do you make about that math? Today we're doing our SummerSlam prediction.
No, tomorrow we're doing SummerSlam predictions.
Was that tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh, because we need SmackDown still.
Yeah. I mean, the math would indicate that Seth picking that belt up, storyline wise, doesn't make any sense at this point. Because I don't feel like Seth has reached the complete and utter pit of despair that he needs to start working his way out of.
Well, he's got less than a week to get that rib tape off too.
Exactly.
He's not exactly in peak shape.
No, not at all.
I don't know. I think they could totally give us like a killer match with a killer story. Seth still hurting, but gutting out this performance and beating him clean. Maybe that's if you're gonna try to make a star out of Seth. Like if you're gonna, like, I don't think the Seth experiment has been nearly as obvious and clunky as the Roman experiment. I don't think it's been much of an experiment. I think they know that Seth Rollins, has a connection with the fans.
Or at least did at one point.
But I think they could, I think they could really solidify that. I think they could sort of jumpstart that, if you will, if they went that route. If you haven't beat Brock clean after being still all beat up the way he is, the crowd would go ape. I think they would. Yeah, I just don't know at this point. Just knowing how Vince is with Brock, I wouldn't bet on it. I'm probably not gonna choose Seth Rollins to win that match.
No, probably Brock with Lindenberg confidence points.
Yeah, it'll be like one confidence point.
Because you'd think the math would indicate that Seth is going to win. Just storyline wise, I don't see them doing that.
The math never, like with the Universal title and Brock, the math is out the window.
Pretty much.
Like that stuff is just out the window.
Much. Next, we got a Kurt Angle interview there in Pittsburgh. That's where he's from. Says happy to be back in Pittsburgh. He's going to be the special guest ref for the match between Drew and Cedric Alexander. Street Profits come in saying they're preparing for their match at TakeOver, and they're practicing their 3 eyes. And Montez says, hey, I got a request of you. He produces a cooler, goes into the cooler, hands Kurt a cup, and then there's half a gallon of milk.
Angelo Dawkins is turning into the Shawn Michaels of the two, and Montez for me is turning into the Marty Jannetty of the two.
Why do you say that?
He's so irritating. It's way too much, dude. He's a terrific wrestler. And he does great things, but I don't remember that because I haven't seen a match of theirs in a while.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll be reminded of that at TakeOver. I'm sure that match is
great. Yeah,
great. But Angelo is so much more appealing as a character because Montez is just like, who acts like that? He's just way too much. Like all the little, like the facial tics and stuff. It's just way too much. It's just on my nerves at this point. Like, just let those guys wrestle for God's sakes. But I like that he had milk, and I like that Kurt Angle acted like it was,
He said he said, I told my wife that I wouldn't get too crazy.
Yeah. It's like drinking milk is going to make him crazy.
I know.
That's what I love about that.
They're like, no, come on.
Kurt Angle right there.
Go ahead and do it. And they raise their cups. And Drew walks in. He's super judgmental. He goes, hey, Kurt, remember the last time we were in the ring together, I destroyed you. I made you tap out to your own moves. So you better call things down the middle.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
My match gets centric. And then that was pretty much it. That was the gist of it.
And then after that we had another jobber match, War Raiders versus Jay Alexander and Eric Abraham. They need to start giving these jobbers like more exciting names, dude.
Yeah, these are pretty generic, like completely generic. Although it's pretty cool that Corey called one guy the dude from Coheed and Cambria, the guy with the huge hair. That was pretty funny. That was a good reference, Corey.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Anyways, as expected, War Raiders pick up the win. The pop-up power slam.
Joe Juarez said maybe it was Milk Plus from a Clockwork Orange.
Oh, it could be. Moloko Plus, huh?
Moloko Plus. That's right, my dude. Anyway, sorry.
War Raiders picked up the win. Next, they had a really cool Harley Race memorial video package, kind of highlighting his career. A lot of good quotes from people.
Somebody's saying, did they really just skip over Bray? We're getting there, man. That was just the Kurt Angle interview.
That was just the interview. We still got a ways to go before we get to that.
Relax, tranquilo, people.
Yeah. Oh, that's next.
Harley Race Memorial. And then, Cedric Alexander versus Drew McIntyre with Kurt Angle as guest referee. You see that awesome Photoshop job they did? On the was it a lower or like a full graphic? I think it was like a lower.
It was a lower, but the graphic, of his head photoshopped over a generic referee body.
Yeah.
Man,
you need like a little bit of shadow right here.
I know.
Like Kurt Angle's he's got a big chin, he's a big chin dude.
He's got a thick neck too.
He's got a thick neck.
You can't just
big old jaw.
You can't just put his head on, like my body. You're going to know it's a Photoshop.
You don't get John Cohen in front of a green screen and then put Kurt Angle's head on him, man.
No.
That was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
I was cracking up, though.
It was pretty bad. So this match never got started. Drew attacks Cedric before the bell. They're all brawling ringside. Kurt's in the ring saying, essentially, what do you want from me? Cue the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Lights start going crazy.
Yeah.
Music's playing. Fiend shows up at the ring.
Yeah.
Slaps the mandible claw on Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think Finn's in Ireland or something. He posted a picture of him with his brother.
He is checked out. He's like, yeah,
totally
I'm on vacation.
He says, I'll hop a flight to Toronto on, I don't know, Sunday morning.
Exactly.
If I make it in time, that's great.
Hopefully I get there on time.
Yeah.
Maybe schedule me later in the card.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
After that, we had the New Day versus the OC. Doc Gallows got his face paint back.
Yeah, I was so excited about that. I texted
and then they kayfabed it. They're like, Doc, Michael Cole says something like, Doc, he's hearkening back to his days in Japan. He feels it makes him more intense to walk in the ring with the face paint on.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Didn't need that.
Didn't need that. Alfred Cano on Twitter, our friendo, said that from Forbes. He said, if Gallows had never wrestled in Japan, Cole would have absolutely nothing to talk about with him. Because he always mentions Japan.
References Japan.
Yeah. No, it was a great throwback, though. It was awesome.
Was cool.
Their pants are a bit snazzier. That big money check they're getting, that big money guarantee they're getting, they're putting back into their ring attire.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Carl Anderson has MG on his pants now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it was cool.
It was great. Anyways, this match never really happened because AJ is in the ring basically immediately. They attack Big E and Xavier Woods. Ricochet comes down, makes the save. That, of course, that means after commercial we get a 6-man tag match, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was chaotic too. It was like just kind of barely hanging on. In the end, Gallows pins Xavier Woods after a Magic Killer. So we have the Raw tag champs pinning the SmackDown tag champs on Raw.
Yeah. Like you said, it was just a really fun match. Again, not sure what I'm going to choose. I want to. Here's the thing. I kind of feel like the OC needs to continue to be draped in gold, but I really don't see Ricochet losing that match at SummerSlam. And at the same time, I'm not sure I see the OC losing that match either. Their match. Wait, they have a match, right? They have a match?
Mm-mm.
The OC don't have a match at SummerSlam?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Mm-mm. Nothing announced
Who
yet.
the hell is fighting at SummerSlam? It's like a 7-hour card.
Announced so far: Brock, Seth, Becky, Natalia, Bayley, Ember Moon, Kofi, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens and Shane, Finn and Bray, AJ, Ricochet, Goldberg, Dolph, Trish, and Charlotte. That's what's announced so far.
Golly. So we don't know anything about the SmackDown tag titles or the Raw tag titles.
Correct. We don't know anything about the Intercontinental Championship. No. Although you'd suspect Nakamura and Ali might be added to the card.
2, 3, 4 5 title matches.
So if you add a Intercontinental title match, a Raw, and a SmackDown tag title match, that's 12 matches.
Yeah.
And Cedric and Drew.
That's got to be kickoff. That one's got to be.
And then Ray and Almas.
Yeah.
But then again, if they say, if they announce on Twitter, it's a mask versus hair match, like, you got to build to that. I know there's some build because Almas carried away Ray's.
They got to save that for keep this feud going to Mania.
Oh yeah,
like ages from now. Yeah, you're totally right. You got to build it.
You got to really build to it. Just Almas going after Ray's mask a couple times.
Did Ray say anything on WWE YouTube? I want to check. Let's see here. Rey Mysterio. Video.
I mean, I've been thoroughly enjoying this program between Almas and Ray. What's kind of
nada.
There's just not a whole lot of interaction between the two of them apart from what's in the ring.
Let's see here. Goldberg's return video, almost 2 million views. Let's see here. Roman Reigns, man, yeah, Goldberg is hot. Oh, wow. Okay, Samoa Joe checks on Roman Reigns, 1.4 million views. People like Samoa Joe being concerned
absolutely
over somebody else. That's funny. Samoa Joe checking on Roman Reigns got almost double the views of Roman Reigns actually getting nearly run down.
This goes to show that Joe should be face of the company.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
Speaking of Joe, next he's backstage. He's telling the PA, the PA's telling him that Roman's close, and goes, "Okay, Raw is officially shut down. I'm going to go to the ring."
Yeah.
We come back. Joe's in the ring. He's cutting a promo. He's saying, "Come on, Roman, come on down here." He goes, grabs a chair, sits down, says, "I'm not going anywhere until you get down here and offer me an apology because I didn't do it. I was involved in the attack." And he hears from a stagehand, "Oh, Roman's just getting here. All right. Well, I'm not going to wait for you. I'm going to go back to the parking lot." So he goes to the parking lot. He goes up to Roman and goes, "Oh, and now when someone's looking for you, then you're real hard to find." Roman's kind of talking back, and he looks at the corner, sees out the corner of his eye something. He turns, his car coming towards him. He jumps back into his car. Car barrels into the back half of his rental. That car speeds off. Before commercial, we have Joe doing this.
Yeah.
Looking around, wondering what to do. After commercial, they show what happened during commercial, and it's Joe going up to him, telling Roman, "Lay down, calling for medics, stay still, Roman. Medics, get over here."
He's like doing everything in his power not to put Roman in the coquina clutch.
Yeah, I know.
And he's like, "Man, there's that good part of me who understands this is messed up, but he's just right there.
He's just right there.
I want to clutch him."
I put him to sleep right now, and then also cut to later on where Triple H is there.
That was a weird cut too.
It was.
Because they did like an awkward crossfade.
Yeah.
And so it was like Joe morphed into Triple H.
Yeah, I know.
"Hey, look, it was me. I'm a shapeshifter.
I've been Joe all this time.
All this time, it was me."
Triple H really a polymorph.
Polymorph.
Here, look, I'll turn to Shawn.
Look, now I'm Goldberg.
Look, now I'm Undertaker.
We don't have to sign anybody anymore. I can do it all if honed by ability.
Here, look, I've been Tommaso Ciampa this whole time. Next, we had a four-corner elimination tag match for the women's tag titles. Had Kyrie and Asuka, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and the Iconics. Of course, Iconics were champions.
You know, that's a decent little tag division right there.
I thought this was a pretty fun match,
and it was a really fun match. It was a really fun match.
And the Iconics went on this rampage to begin.
Yeah.
They were clearing house.
They were.
And they were both in the ring for 2 minutes straight.
Yeah,
destroying everybody.
Like a AAA match.
Yeah, John Cone didn't really care. But Mandy hits a bicycle knee on Billy, pins her. Iconics eliminated. We will be seeing new champions tonight.
Yeah, that was cool. That was exciting.
But the whole sequence was great to see the Iconics actually show what they can do.
I know, right? They've defended the titles once since Mania,
yeah, something
and
like that.
We've never seen how they can actually, because we've seen in NXT how they're actually really good wrestlers, and then we get this.
I know. Yeah, they go on a rampage, and then they're first eliminated. Mandy hits one of those knees on Asuka, but Asuka kicks out. Shortly thereafter, Asuka puts Mandy in the Asuka lock. She taps, even though you see in the background Sonya do this through the ropes a couple times.
Yeah.
Do I get in? Do I not get in?
You need to get in
Do I
there,
not get
man.
in?
You need to get in there.
I think she was looking at Kyrie because Kyrie was kind of like,
oh,
if you get in,
she was going to cut her
if
off.
you get in,
You're
I'll cut her off.
That. Yeah, you're right. Because as soon as Mandy taps, Sonya gets in there, and then Kyrie goes at her. Yeah.
But also earlier in the match when it was at least 3 teams left, there's a couple times where someone would tag Alexa in, and she would immediately tag someone else in. She won nothing of Asuka.
Yeah, yeah.
But it comes down to Kyrie and Asuka taking on Alexa and Nikki Cross, and then Asuka puts Bliss in the Asuka lock. Bliss reverses into a pin. Asuka kicks out. Kyrie goes to the top rope for an insane elbow. There's this great bit where Asuka does a slide and Nikki traps her in the
apron,
apron and starts beating on her, and then Alexa drop kicks her.
Yeah,
takes her out of the equation.
That was really good. That was really good.
Nikki pushes Kyrie off the top rope. Bliss clocks Kyrie with Kyrie saying sorry. Kyrie saying with
it wasn't Io Shirai, contrary to what their social media posts. The little lower third thing,
yeah. Bliss clocks. I can't talk today.
Wow.
Sorry. Bliss clocks Kyrie with like a right forearm, and then hits Twisted Bliss for the win.
Twisted Bliss is very quickly becoming my second favorite top rope finisher.
Behind the Eclipse.
Behind the Eclipse. Especially they played it in slow-mo, and like the way she...
Yeah, no jumps and twists in midair.
It's a really fun-looking move.
Or rotates,
just like
I know.
the Eclipse, really fun-looking move.
It is. So we have new tag champs, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross. Nikki
Cross gets the championship in WWE. That's terrific.
It's cool.
They thematically were matching gear.
Yeah.
It was great. It was like black and purple.
I was kind of bummed out that Asuka and Kyrie didn't pick up those belts. But.
Me too, but if I had to say, okay, who after this? I mean, it'd be cool. I like them all. I mean, that's the thing. I like all these teams. Mandy and Sonya are really good. I like the Iconics, although I wanted somebody else to get these titles. But then, Nikki Cross, man. This thing with her and Alexa Bliss has gone on a lot longer than I thought it would. I think they see the value in them as a team as opposed to them just immediately feuding, which I thought is where it was going to go. And now they're tag champions. I think it's terrific. I really like that.
Yeah, it just right now I just don't see like maybe Asuka and Kyrie will get a tag title match at some point. Just straight up against Bliss and Nikki Cross.
I mean, ideally,
or is this the idea? If the plan is we'll put the belts onto another heel team to have Asuka and Kyrie chase, cool. I just worry that they have their match now and then they'll just kind of fade into the background again. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I honestly have no idea. Like night to night, Alexa and Nikki are either heels or faces. That's how they present them. So I don't even know that they're necessarily a heel team. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if they're up against Kairi Sane and Asuka, they would be. I think.
Yeah, you would think so.
But if we could get a good 3-month feud between the two of them, that's just me being optimistic when I probably shouldn't be. But I think that'd be fine. But I don't know. To me, I see Nikki Cross as somebody who I was really worried about 6 months ago when she got her call up, or whenever that was, 8 months ago, I guess. I was really worried about it. She was nowhere to be found. Just every once in a while, you'd see her on TV. Yeah. And they put her with Alexa Bliss, and they both have really good chemistry. Nikki Cross has been doing really, really good work. And she has this opportunity to continue to shine. I think that's really cool. Yeah. And does it come at the expense of Kairi Sane and Io Shirai? Look at me. Yeah. Asuka and Kairi Sane. Yes, that sucks. But, sometimes you got to look at the bright side, I guess. After that, we had Miz TV with, that was the main event segment. Miz TV with HBK and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. So Dolph comes to the ring and says, "Well, I'm the only legend here. You guys are a couple has-beens, burnouts. It's like I saved pro wrestling." He at least said pro wrestling.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to believe it, but I'm kind of like, I've come around to the Dolph thing at this point.
All right.
A little bit, which is just bizarre to me because I never thought in a million years that would happen. I'll just say this. He doesn't really have go-away heat with me anymore because they've treated him pretty decently. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how that happens.
I don't know either. Maybe after he loses to Goldberg, he'll find a new wrinkle for his character instead of just bitter.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So Miz says, you should. Dolph signs the contract, and Miz says, well, you really should have read the fine print. He says he signs the contract. Says, well, that's great, Dolph. I'll see you next Monday night. Oh, you're confused, huh? You should have read the fine print.
Yeah.
Miz says, I've had plenty of SummerSlam moments. I'll have more in the future. Your match at SummerSlam is against me. He kind of steps back, and HBK steps forward a little bit. And HBK just kind of says, oh, it's not against me either. It's against this guy. And of course, at that point, everybody's already started to chant Goldberg.
Yeah.
Goldberg comes down the ring.
Dun, dun.
Dolph acts like he wants to fight. He leaves. Goldberg resets the little table and signs the contract. And of course, it says, hey, Dolph, I'm back. And guess what? You're next.
You're next.
Dolph goes up the ramp, turns around, eats a sweet chin music
yeah.
from HBK.
That was kind of cool.
Sends the crowd home happy, I guess.
Yeah. No, they popped for that, man. They liked it. They liked it a lot. I liked it. I thought it was cool. SmackDown preview time. Kevin Owens invites Shane McMahon to the Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens is risking his career this Sunday at SummerSlam, where if he does not defeat Shane McMahon, he will quit WWE. It appears KO is going to lay all his cards out on the table just 5 nights before the biggest event of the summer, as he has invited the best of the world to appear on the Kevin Owens Show. What will happen when these two rivals are under the same roof ahead of SummerSlam?
Probably fireworks. By that I mean fighting.
Not actual fireworks.
Not actual fire. WWE doesn't do pyro anymore. WWE Champion Kofi Kingston to respond to Randy Orton exclusive interview. Last week on SmackDown Live, Randy Orton declared that WWE Champion Kofi Kingston was stupid for challenging him to a match at SummerSlam before declaring he'd take the title this Sunday. Tonight, the WWE Champion will respond to the Viper in an exclusive interview. What will Kingston have to say just 5 nights before this huge showdown?
Who tried to run down Roman Reigns? Nearly a week after barely avoiding disaster when a forklift mishap resulted in him almost being crushed by steel beams and scaffolding on SmackDown Live, Roman Reigns apparently learned that it's looking less likely that his recent misfortunes are accidental. Samoa Joe, furious that he was accused of orchestrating the attack on Roman Reigns, sought out the big dog in the arena parking lot. The Samoan Shark seemingly had his name cleared in shocking fashion. What?
The Samoan Shark? That's a new nickname.
Somebody at Digital is getting creative, man.
Guess so.
As a speeding car rocketed past Joe and collided with Reigns' ride as he was exiting, the big dog was shaken up, but WWE.com learned that he narrowly avoided permanent injury and has been released to appear for SmackDown Live. Though Reigns may be fine, the shocking incident has left the WWE Universe asking who would attack the big dog and why?
Why?
Will we discover any more information on SmackDown Live? Well, SummerSlam is coming up in like 5 days, so we really should. That should happen.
Yeah. Will Aleister Black respond to Sami Zayn's challenge?
Was this on the Wikipedia thing? For the list of matches? Okay.
No. I guess that's another match.
That's number 10, yeah.
Aleister Black dared another superstar to pick a fight with him last week. Sami Zayn answered the call, promising to ruin the Dutch Destroyer's mystique at SummerSlam. Will Black have any response to the critic of the critics? He'd probably say yeah. He means we want to fight. Why would you say no at this point?
I would rather stay in my room
than waste my time
and watch YouTube videos
fighting a losing wrestler.
I've been thinking of getting a new camera, so I'm watching camera review videos
on Vimeo.
Is Charlotte Flair ready for Trish Stratus? Charlotte Flair demanded a spot on the SummerSlam card, then went out and forced her way onto the show, challenging WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus to a battle at biggest event of summer. With Stratus accepting the challenge, how will these two superstars prepare for a showdown between generations? Find out on SmackDown Live tonight, 8, 7 Central on USA Network. We know drama.
Cool.
No, characters welcome. No.
Very funny.
No, that's TBS. The leader in sports.
No, that's ESPN. I don't think USA.
This is CNN.
CNN.
That's actually CNN.
Doesn't USA have a little blurb under their stuff?
Isn't it characters welcome?
Is that what it is?
I think it's one of them. I think they have multiples.
Interesting.
Anybody know what it is?
Let's do some questions. Not KM. The end of Raw was more like Samoa Bro. What?
Bud Ryan here says Brian is doing it because he saw Hobbs and Shaw.
Well, I don't think that was a hybrid or electric car that ran into Romans. I feel like that Daniel Bryan would even rent a hybrid or electric car.
Get somebody
for the road,
like a Segway.
There you go. Tim Ferkson, thank you, new YouTube channel member.
Oh, cool.
Brian Jankowski and their
YouTube channel members, you get access to all the bonus content too.
Yep. Brian Jankowski in their prime. Would you rather have seen Stone Cold versus Hogan or Stone Cold versus Goldberg? It's Austin Hogan.
Oh, it's Austin Hogan.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the step? What's the?
Just in their primes.
Oh, in their primes. Oh, yeah. It's got to be Austin Hogan.
Mm-hmm. Vincent Millage. I could see Joe as a face and maybe tag with Roman as Joe realizes how important the bloodline is after witnessing Roman almost dying.
Well, pay attention tonight. Cody Miles, why did Goldberg's shirt look more like...
Did you like have inside info what's going on tonight?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I mean, it's just on internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you wake up and not check Twitter this morning? Usually you do.
I did, but I didn't see anything
Usually
about
you're
that.
the guy. Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, you can fill me in later.
Cody Miles, why did Goldberg's shirt look more like a Black Rain outfit rather than a Goldberg shirt. Isn't this Black Rain? Isn't that Gold Dust?
I thought so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was like it had his shoulder tattoo just over, like all over print.
Right. Chill Hafty. Looks like Cass is getting in great shape. Would you be open to seeing him return to WWE or go to AEW in the future?
I'd probably rather he go to...
Boy, he is in great shape. Wow.
Oh, he looks good. Good for him.
I would be open to anything that involved him wrestling decently and good creative behind him. I thought his personality was pretty good. But if he's still wrestling kind of like how he did, really not into it, creatively speaking, that's up in the air too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm all about giving people chances, man.
Totally. I mean, I guess I'd prefer... I think he would fit in better back in WWE versus AEW, but who knows? Cody
Miles verifies it was Papa Roach last night, Born for Greatness.
Okay. Oh, nonstop player. Seth Rollins is a geek.
Wow. Harsh words from nonstop player.
This is Matt Chat questions.
Let's see here. Jimmy Thomas. Am I the only one who wants the Ray versus Andrade hair versus mascara mask with Ray losing and turning heel? I don't want to see Ray without his mask. We've seen that before.
No,
in the non-canon fanfic WCW.
Andrade would cut his hair. CEO Bizer, thank you.
Yeah, Ray needs to keep his mask on.
Thank you. TD Wicks, Dark Leon. Why won't WWE give Joe the Universal or WWE title? He deserves it.
So
I think he'd make a great champion.
I think he'd make a great champion, but Joe, I think, is one of those guys. I don't want to say they take him for granted, but Joe doesn't really need a title. Joe really thrives without it, although they do need to stop chumping him out so much.
Yes.
I think at SummerSlam he'll be fine.
Nikyle, Dexter Loomis going in Raw math.
Need more info.
Yeah.
Need more info.
So
far, look 10. What else is there? We haven't done math in a while.
Well, being good is promo.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Look. Need 10.
In ring.
Don't know.
Well, we've seen one match. It was all right.
Who did he fight? Jonah Rock.
Yeah.
He lost.
And then kayfabe
is 0.
Legacy.
Because he lost.
Don't know.
There's not enough info.
No.
Need more info.
Robert Aquatic. Does WWE know who's trying to Reigns? Yeah, they know. I assume he's trying to attack Reigns.
Yeah, that's a
fair question.
Here's the thing, though. It could change between now and 5 p.m. Eastern.
On Sunday.
Well, I would think
today,
tonight. Yeah, I would think tonight they're going to let us know.
Jeffrey Nguyen. Reigns' vehicular mishap was due to, quote, valet error.
Oh, I made that joke on Twitter. I said the regular valet had the day off. Jurgen Johnson & Johnson's over here on the Patreon wall. Is Ronda going to return and cost Becky the title at SummerSlam? No, Natalya is not going to get that. No. Becky's going to have that title for a very long time. At the very least.
She's on the cover of the game, so she didn't have it for
very
a while.
least through the game release. So exactly.
At least till probably Survivor Series. Yeah. The villain, Alan Black. Plot twist, it's Moxley trying to take out Roman. And Rich Hardesty, new member. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rich. Welcome.
Oh, thanks, Rich. Let's see here. Thomas Dunnigan. Do the crowd seem like they're over Seth at this point? Is it because they love to watch Brock destroying people and things, or is it because of the awful booking for Seth? I think
kind of all the above.
Seth's booking. I don't think the crowd has turned. I mean, the crowd did leave last night chanting "Burn It Down." On the other hand, crowds love chanting things. I think that they haven't really given us much of a reason to get on board with Seth, but I don't think they're at the point where they're going to start booing him.
No.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, we saw last night that they didn't, like, when Brock was beating him down, there was silent. There's really no boos, no cheers either way. There was no response until Brock dropped him with an F5.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I want to watch that. I might
kind of
watch
sit on their
lunch
hands
today when we're uploading this stuff. I want to watch that Table for 3, the Ring of Honor one.
Oh, okay.
Cesaro, Nigel, and Seth.
Oh, that's probably pretty good.
Probably is. Anything with Nigel is good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Wolfpack for life. Do fans nowadays demand too much from wrestlers? With wrestlers needing to do flashier moves or big spots more to stay relevant, all of their bodies will be terrible when they retire. I disagree with that. I think that good storytelling does not necessarily mean you got to kill your body.
No, I think it's two things. One, I think storytelling trumps all. I think you're right about that. But regardless how you wrestle, it's going to take a toll on your body.
That's today or yesterday or 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
I mean, Hogan didn't do a whole bunch of high-flying stuff. He just landed on his tailbone all the time, and he had to have like a dozen back surgeries.
Wrestling is really rough on the body.
It's rough on the body.
If you're smart, I mean, if you take a guy like Will Ospreay, who had a career that was probably going to be ending by the time he was 30, he's adapted, he's changed, and he's made it better for his body so that he can elongate his career. And they take really good care of themselves. I do think the WWE schedule probably needs to be pared down, though.
Yeah, I think just as much, if not more, than wrestling style is the number of matches you have to wrestle. Because I
think we've heard that from wrestlers, right?
Well, yeah,
Cal would be like really good.
I've heard that several times. You kind of only have so many bumps in you, in your body, until it starts just giving out.
Yeah.
So, Shaq 462. Can it be Rusev trying to kill Roman? I don't know why I'd be motivated, but any way to get Rusev back on TV, I'd be on board with that.
Yeah, I would want it in a different situation, not Rusev, because that feels just too much like Rikishi running down Steve Austin.
Ideally, it would be
I did it for The Rock.
Instead of doing in a rental car, he'd get his tank from WrestleMania 31.
Yeah, and there would be no subterfuge. He would just be him.
You'd have him in the starter jacket he had on that day, and his tank running over the
long
car.
hair.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Machka.
BJ Lawton. Which non-WWE wrestler stands to gain the most from the eventual feud with Roman Reigns by being named as Roman's assailant? So who could they bring in between now and the Royal Rumble? Let's say they carry this whodunit angle all the way out to the Rumble.
Dexter Lumis.
Yes, I love it. He got so mad about losing to Jonah Rock that he went ahead and decided to target the top name.
He couldn't repress his murderous urges anymore, and so he's going for the top of the card of the main roster now.
Okay, so Becca English here in Patreon says, "Are you happy now, Steve? Being in the Elite got a camera with a microphone.
Cool.
Did they make that? Did they talk about that at all? Did they make that part of the thing?
Brandon Cutler had that tweet saying
he got a gimbal
camera. He had like a new. It wasn't just an iPhone. It looked like a new camera, but it was a gimbal. Yeah,
yeah, on a gimbal though. Yeah. And he had a camera.
He said he finally actually learned how to use it.
He said no more complaints about shaky camera. I got myself a gimbal. Yeah. So I didn't see that they got a microphone though. That's cool. But yeah, if the question is, am I happy they got a microphone? Yes, I might actually start watching it now.
I think some people thoroughly enjoyed the amateurish nature of it. Jay Sean Lawrence, this Roman storyline feels like they're testing out a story for the new Scooby-Doo WWE films.
Yeah, I could see that.
Could be.
Let's see here. Kenny T, over under, Goldberg has known who Dolph is for 6 months.
I
think
I think he would know.
Let's see here. Greg Morris, you guys think we're going to see are we ever going to see another 60-minute Iron Man match? Yes. I think.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
I think it's one of those things where, by nature of the match, you can't do it too often. But the last 60-minute man match, when was that? I want to say it was probably a Triple H match.
Probably. The last couple Iron Man or Iron Woman matches were only half hours.
You're right. List of Iron Man matches. Let's take a look and see what we find. Benoit versus Kurt Angle 2001. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels on Raw 2005. Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardy Boys for the Raw
30-minute.
Oh, okay.
So was that one Rollins?
Oh, that was 30 minutes?
Yeah. That one felt like it took forever.
Yeah. They introduced
2004, 2008.
15-minute.
That's hardly an Iron Man.
No, it isn't. Cena, okay, 2009 Cena Orton.
60-minute, yeah.
And 2003, I was 30. Yeah, okay.
2009 is the last.
It's been 10 years.
Match.
Maybe they're due.
Could be.
What is the third stipulation? A takeover is a 30-minute Iron Man match.
Third stipulation is another 2 out of 3 falls match.
With another 2 out of 3 falls match where Gargano chooses one and it just perpetually goes.
Yeah, it could be the never-ending match.
Gets carried on by its own momentum.
Yep.
Oh boy. Anyways, what do we got coming up for Overrun?
We're gonna talk about All Elite Wrestling, what they got in the docket going forward for their TV, at least after DC.
All Elite Wrestling plans.
All Elite Wrestling.
I had some
forward.
donuts this weekend.
Sounds good.
All Eat Wrestling. My dad brings over a dozen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a chocolate one to be found. I'm like, you're my dad. You should know that stuff.
What does he bring then?
A bunch of non-chocolate crap.
Like what?
I ended up having one with sprinkles on it.
All right. Cake
Brought
donut?
3 of those. Yeah. And then he brought over 3 glazed.
Oh, those are the best.
Like Bear Claw or 2. Yeah, glazed are really good.
I'm an apple fritter.
No.
Those are the premium ones. They're not included in the typical dozen price, though. The giant cinnamon rolls.
I love the glaze, but I still yelled at him because I like my chocolate. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate
hold on, the Gomer Super Chat. CEO Bizer, is the Fiend a direct result of his dip in the lake of reincarnation? Who knows?
Could be. Could be like a Batman, Ra's al Ghul. He dipped in one of them lakes of reincarnation, but it drives you crazy.
Yeah.
That's not good. Anyways, patrons and YouTube channel members. Patrons $5 and up. All YouTube channel members will be going live with our bonus episode in moments. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post-show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.